Being a leader in the nation's oldest and largest cattle industry organization takes dedication, as Kansas producer Jerry Bohn has proven. He has served in multiple roles, including the 2019 Vice President of NCBA. He's here now to share some of his insights on what it's like to be a volunteer leader. Jerry, tell us just a little bit about your background and your own operation in Kansas.
Well, I grew up in Northeast Kansas, graduated with an animal science degree from Kansas State. I started out early in my career working for Hormel Packing Company. I didn't like southern Minnesota all that well, so I moved back to Kansas and started working in feed yards, and I spent 3 years in a feed yard, and then I spent 7 years in Denver working for Cattlefax under Topper Thorpe. And then in late 1982, I took a job as general manager of Pratt Feeders in Pratt, Kansas, and spent 34 years there as general manager of we feed about 85,000 head of cattle at one time. So also do some irrigated farming in the Pratt area.
Now, you have a long history of providing leadership to the industry, and obviously that takes a lot of your own time and effort away from your own business, your operation. Why do you think it's so important for folks like yourself to commit time to serving the industry?
The beef industry is a great industry, and there's nothing more noble than producing food for people. And so I enjoy getting involved in promoting the industry, promoting our beef product, and to help meet the challenges that we face as an industry. We get attacked from many different directions, and it's important that we have spokespersons and people willing to volunteer time to protect the industry.
Couldn't agree more. Now, we just finished up with a fantastic and well-attended convention. I'm curious, how would you recap and review the work of this past week?
We've had a lot to celebrate this year. NCBA's had a lot of wins, and particularly in Washington, D.C., from a regulatory standpoint, as well as a trade wins, particularly like Japan, USMCA, getting all of that passed. And so it was really a week of celebration of just honoring what the industry's accomplished, and particularly NCBA's contribution to it.
Yeah. You talked with a lot of people this last week. I mean, what were the things on top of their mind as we look down the barrel of 2020?
Well, I think continue to discern what our cattle price is going to do. What are you going to do about fake meat and that situation? Are we going to get these trade agreements done with China so that we can send some beef to China? And just the election, we got a presidential election coming up. There's a lot of talk about politics and concern about who's going to get elected and who's not. So, but I think we've got a really good year ahead of us. And so I think people were very optimistic and are looking forward to a successful year.
I ask a lot of you leaders about this, but I'm curious, why is it important to be members of NCBA and not just your state and local cattlemen's organization?
NCBA has 20 people working in Washington, D.C., and they're there every day to lobby and to work to promote the industry, to help get legislation passed, to protect us sometimes from the onerous regulations that the government often wants to put upon us. And so they're there doing the work for us when we're out taking care of our cattle and our farms. And we're also involved as a proud checkoff contractor where we promote beef, and we're doing research and helping get beef on the center of the plate for consumers.
Nothing could be more important. Thank you so much for your time. We'll look forward to having you back on the show soon.
All right, good to see you.
The cattle industry needs a strong voice in our nation's capital, and that takes all of us working together. Stand with Jerry and other members of NCBA by joining today. It's easy to sign up. Just call 1-866-233-3872 or visit the website ncba.org.